Hey, what is going on? Welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at Vechain. Vechain was requested as an update under one of the videos I uploaded recently, so I'm doing an update for Vechain. I want to say that I'm not a financial advisor. You should do your own research before investing money into crypto. Also, if you want to support Ukraine, there are two donation links down below in the description. Those are official websites. Thank you all for donating. Thank you all for supporting Ukraine, and thank you all for supporting the channel. Now let's get on with the TA. So as you can see, we have a descending broadening wedge here, and we were in a falling wedge. If I zoom in a little bit, you can see that we have a pink falling wedge here. Maybe I should change the trend lines because that doesn't look too good. So I'm going to switch those to blue. So as you can see, the blue trend lines here show a falling wedge that we have been in for quite some time. We broke out at the beginning of July. We had a nice retest of the top of the pattern, or the resistance of the pattern, which is now flipped to support. As you can see, we didn't really touch it, but the move was towards that support, and from there we've been in a very nice uptrend. And as you can see, we are now pulling back down. We're getting the bearish cross with the EMAs, where the 20s crossing below the 55, giving us a very bearish signal for the foreseeable future. I would look at the immediate support over here at 0.023 cents, because this is where our 2363, I should say. This is where I think we can bottom out if we're not going to be moving any further down, right? So this is a 11.4% pullback, quite the pullback there, but we could still see Bitcoin come back down to retest $19,000, $20,000. So be ready for a pullback. If you want to set some buy limit orders, I've got nothing against that, really. You know, that's a very smart thing to do. If I zoom out, I want to show you the Fibonacci retracement targets that I have set up, or not the targets, the swing low and the swing high. So if I get my brush here, so this is the swing high and this is the swing low, and you have your extension levels to the downside. We've actually met the 1.618 perfectly at 0.0236 cents, and we've been hovering around that level for quite some time, and now we're recovering back. We could potentially retrace to where we came from, and that will be the end of the pullback, and we might start breaking a very important resistance trend line, a diagonal resistance trend line that we've been hitting ever since November of last year. We hit it also here in April of this year, and the third touch could be the last one, and we could break through, have a nice back test of support, and on we go. That's a very, very strong possibility. Will that happen? I don't know, but it's going to happen, you know, sooner rather than later. And be careful with your swing trades if you are swing trading, okay? If you want to sell here and buy back here, that's fine, but be careful if you sell too early, or be careful if you sell and the price doesn't come back to your buy price. You know, you might, you know, stay with your cash and without your crypto. So be careful with those swing trades. Only swing trade if you know how to do it, or you're very certain that, you know, you're going to see a pullback, which you can't really be certain in crypto or in finances in general. You have to take some sort of a risk, but minimizing the risk is what it's all about. So we have broken out of our falling wedge, and the target from the falling wedge is over here at 0.08466. Now it is very possible that we could slowly and gradually get to that target. Okay, this is a pretty large falling wedge, so it might take some time for us to get to the technical target. And to get to that technical target, that would mean that we would have to break this yellow resistance zone and the white trend line here. I'm going to extend this trend line because we're getting out of reach from these trend lines. So yeah, breaking this trend line would be very important. Breaking through this would be very important, and breaking through this level as well here. If I can just grab that, as you can see, this is where you have multiple touches, and this is where you had a back test of resistance. So this first fib level is a very important resistance level. So you want to break through all of that, have a nice back test of support, and move forward. Next up, you have an important resistance level, which is actually our technical target at 0.0845 or 849, because this is where the golden ratio is of the Fibonacci retracement. And essentially what we did here in April is we started retracing from our swing high over here. Okay, you started retracing, you came back down, and then you managed to get hit or reject from the 0.618. You got rejected from the 0.618. So essentially what happened here, you printed a lower high, you created the dead cat bounce scenario, or whatever they call it, right? This is basically the dead cat bounce that you get. You come back down, you start retracing, you run into the golden ratio, and you come back down. That's the dead cat bounce for you. So we have multiple targets here. So from this large descending broadening wedge, we have a target at 0.16 cents, almost 17 cents. And from where we are right now, that would be a very nice 539% trade. Will that happen? I don't know, but you have to be ready for both outcomes. You have to be ready for a capitulation in case we get a black swan event. In case we get a very strong pullback with Bitcoin, altcoins will follow. So 0.01456 would be your immediate support here. If you start losing the 1.618, of course, you're going to have to lose this little support zone here. If I can just get a rectangle, you're going to lose this, right? In order to get here. And this is where you retraced from this support zone multiple times. You dipped your toes into the zone, but you got up from it eventually. So it's going to take a lot to bring Vechain even lower, but from the all-time high, we've already seen a pullback of 92%. So, you still have some room to go down, because usually altcoins go down 95 to 97, 99%, and from there they start recovering. But like I said, I wouldn't expect this price here at the second fib level unless Bitcoin was to do something drastic. We're getting a bearish cross. That is negative, yes, but I don't think we're going to go below the 1.618 unless Bitcoin starts going below $20,000. And keep in mind this white resistance trend line. This is one of your most important levels here. If you break that, that is one of your most bullish signals. That's when you should probably stop swing trading and you should pay attention to what's going on. And obviously building your position right now is very smart, because this is a very, very good buying opportunity in my honest opinion. Now, if I go to the daily chart here, and we do have some sort of a resistance level here that I mentioned in the last update, so we can remove that trend line. We had a very nice bounce from the support that I gave you a while ago. As you can see, a perfect bounce. I haven't been on the Vechain chart for quite a while, but I just logged on, and as you can see, we have a perfect bounce from this area. So you have to pay attention to these support levels I give you, because they are great areas to excuse me, they're great areas to dollar cost average at, because they have been support levels, right, for a long time. You have seen bounces from this area for multiple times here, so you cannot ignore that. Okay, so this was a very good entry. If you managed to enter from there, from that drop, you could have seen a nice move to the upside of around about 7%. So that was a nice trade in itself. But if you're buying a Vechain for the long term, no need to worry. Now let's get into the Binance website. So moving over into the weekly chart on Binance, you can see that we ran into the 1.272 resistance. I gave you this level a couple of months ago when I was, making my previous update on Vechain, and on June 5th, I think we were just sitting over here, just above the 1.618 level. We landed on the 1.618. From there, we had a very nice move to the upside, a nice 41.5%. And from there, we have already seen a pullback of another 24%. So this was a nice swing trade opportunity for you. I wouldn't wait for a very deep pullback, but if you can see, you could buy at the 1.618 that I just gave you. That would be a perfect entry in my opinion. Now, I do want to jump into the daily, or the weekly RSI, I should say, getting my words mixed up. So here is the weekly RSI for Vechain. You can see that we are in a falling wedge, and we have been in this pattern ever since November. So this is where the pattern was created. If we're going to break out, that would be your technical target, and we could see a very nice pump for Vechain, coming into November this year. We could see a very nice move to the upside, just like we saw over here from October into November, or from the end of September, I should say. So if we do something like this here, right, we consolidate a little bit, but moving into September, we could see a nice breakout, a nice back test of support potentially of the blue trend line, and we could see this target met, okay? But no guarantees, obviously. Just keep in mind that once you find yourselves in such patterns, you're pretty much guaranteed a breakout. Now, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, that is to be seen, but 75% of falling wedges break to the upside. So if you saw a break to the upside, this would be a great opportunity to take some profits at these higher levels of the RSI. I wouldn't expect us to get into the overbought just yet. I would expect us to do that, moving into spring of 2023. But let's see. You could also see a very strong pullback, obviously lose the support blue trend line and get into the oversold. That would be a very good buying opportunity in my opinion. Anywhere below the index of 30 is a great buying opportunity. So that is pretty much it. If I missed anything important on the charts, please let me know down below in the comments section. You do have some resistance levels here based on this Fibonacci retracement. So you have your swing low over here and you have your swing high over here. This is a smaller Fib retracement, obviously, and you do have a resistance level at 0.03902. You have a resistance at the 786 here, which is at 0.04660. You have the golden ratio, obviously, of the retracement, which is at 0.05357. You have the 0.5 at 0.05908. So multiple levels to be broken, but this is exciting, right? You have a great and incredible opportunity to dollar cost average into Vechain and wait for those all-time high prices, or maybe hodl for the next 2 years and make incredible gains on Vechain. I missed out an opportunity with Vechain. I was holding Reef and Vechain at the beginning of last year, and I was like, well, Vechain is not really doing anything. I'm gonna sell all my Vechain into Reef, and Reef ended up just dumping while Vechain was making huge gains. So that was a mistake on my part, but hey, it's experience. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for watching. Feel free to follow me on Twitter. Feel free to join me on Patreon. I'm gonna catch you in the next one. Goodbye and good night.